future and fate, perhaps, of Paramount. There was an upgrade yesterday. You and I had we talked about it. I sort of was dubious, certainly when it came to potential buyers for the entire company. Obviously, our parent company, Comcast, which in the past has been talked about, but regulatory and any number of other reasons not really there. But Warner Brothers Discovery, while, again, I made the point yesterday that getting bigger in linear cable networks would not be something that you would expect them to want to do. Nonetheless, through our reporting and many others, we do know that they are mulling it and considering it, and as part of that have had at least one conversation. That is David Zaslav, Backish, David Zaslav, Sherry Redstone as well, the control shareholder there. Jim, you know, I can give you any number of reasons on both sides here as to why you could argue that this is something they will certainly think about, namely being that it is for sale, and when there is a sale, you have to at least consider it. And then there are any number of arguments as to why Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders might say, please don't do this. It's not regulatory in terms of the impediment that another buyer might face, for example, our parent company, as much as it is, well, do you want to get bigger in linear cable, which obviously is declining at a very rapid rate? Do you want to deal with integration and the risks that poses? Remember AT&T with Warner Brothers Discovery, or I should say when Discovery took in Warner Brothers, they found a lot of things that they didn't expect, and a lot of them were not good in terms of on the cost side of the business. It took them a while to sort of work through that. You've been getting your investor base accustomed to generating a lot of free cash flow, to the delevering story, and so, you know, that's one side. The other is, hey, you could supercharge Max. You could take a competitor out. You'll have billions in potential synergies, as you well know, if you put the two studios together, and international and so many other areas, that maybe you do it. You get sports, the NFL, college football. They can be added to your overall. You get a broadcast network. And so, Jim, you know, I think, listen, you and I both have conversations. We do it with decision makers. And, you know, my comments yesterday were based on that, of course, but decision makers' opinions sometimes seem to change, don't they?
Yes, look, I think this deal with Paramount makes a ton of sense. The reason I say that is because Max is actually doing a lot better than people realize. Paramount, I think, is actually doing a lot worse than people realize. But if you put them together, you do have this sports powerhouse, which really matters because sports still works. We know Paramount's got a great NFL contract. We know that Warner's got a ton of sports. Warner's got a great studio. And David, scale matters more than any of sports. Warner's got a great studio. And David, scale matters more than anything else in the world. And this gives them scale.
It does, but it's not clear that they don't have scale already with Max. And they're just going to begin it internationally in terms of the distribution. And so,
True.
You know, there is not an insignificant risk in pursuing something like this, despite what might be billions in potential synergies. And regulatory-wise, while it might appear, as we well know, so many other deals appear to be easy to get through, nothing's easy. And so they may be thinking, well, we can get this thing done in 11 months. We got Warner done in 11 months. Well, you never know, right? And that's yet another potential impediment.
That's true.
So I think we'll just have to wait and see. If something were to happen, it may happen fairly quickly. It's not going to be that difficult, perhaps, if they really decide to move all in here. But they're going to need to talk to their shareholder base and really get a sense as to what those shareholders were thinking. You saw after the reports yesterday, Warner Brothers Discovery stock did sell off fairly significantly, but perhaps it's going to rebound a bit this morning.
But David, Warner Brothers Discovery is not getting much credit for anything that David Zaslav's done. Or do you think that people just remain skeptical that anything's been done by David Zaslav?
Oh, no. I think they believe that. You do get a low multiple here, to your point.
Right.
There are still a lot of questions about leverage and the ad environment and how quickly the cable networks they own are going to continue to decline. And that still is the bulk of, right, the vast amount of their cash flow. But they are making some money at Max. And the real question is, can that move much more quickly to a bigger number with Paramount as a part of it?
Totally. Great point.